Upstaged. Good morning, this is Mona and this is my morning view. Winter edition 2026, a chilly 4 degrees minus the wind. So with the wind, I don't know what it is. I forgot my scarf. Oh! So, might have to zip her up just a little bit higher. Get my hair out of the way. Yeah, it's not going to happen with the static. Today, it is Fiesty Friday. Fiesty Friday today, I get to offend, and sometimes even myself. Alright, so, I say some pretty offensive things on Friday, so just buckle up and be prepared. Alright, so some things that took place this week that unsettled me. There was this buzz inside my chest that was like, what is that? What is it that's eating me about this situation? And there's several things that eat at me about this situation, which brings me back to those markers that spring up, and then you know, well, what is the path that I've always taken, right? What is the path I've always taken? But restrained from that path, but yet my brain still kind of went there, and it was like, what is this? Those things that cause you to go, So, one of the things that I have learned recently is that when you have these weird feelings inside about something that's being taken place, something that's being said, whatever, that, oh, I left my fork out here yesterday. Squirrel moment. When things are said, when things happen, when there's circumstances that cause this feeling inside, is it anger? Is it frustration? Is it, what exactly is it? Sometimes we don't even have a name for it. It's just this weird feeling, right? And that's kind of like what was happening to me yesterday. Was this weird feeling, and I was agitated, and it stems from something that I started a couple of years ago, and I started it with very good intentions, but sometimes things morph to a space where it becomes corrupt. And I'm not talking about corruption in this. It could come up to the corruption in the sense of things like governmental things that come up and they started out with good intentions, and then it just, because man is involved, it becomes corrupt, right? So there's times when neglect can cause corruption, things like rust, things like, or it could be just time. Time has caused corruption, like mold, right? So you have time or lack of attentiveness. I can't talk. Oh. So here we are in this situation where it started out as a noble thing to do. It started out with high intentions. It started out to be helpful and to be, I guess, is pragmatic the word that needs to be used there? I don't know. Where it would be beneficial to people. Helpful. In no way would it be wasteful. It would be using the resources in a way that is best manageable. That's how it started. But as time has gone by, the necessity of it doesn't really exist like it did when it started. But here I was having this angst inside for quite a while now. It's been months of this angst concerning how can this be stewarded better. And it's come to a point of, at this point, it's one, out of my hands. And two, it's not like I have to have control over anything. And I'm pretty much low man on the totem pole in most cases of my life. So therefore, I have no authority. Although people have said, when I've blanketly said, I'm so low on the totem pole, I'm beneath the dirt. And people have said, oh, so you're the one holding them all up. Don't let it go to my head. So, the point is that it is no longer happening. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. But I felt odd, because inside me I was like, you know what? I should have said something. I should have done something. I should have. Don't shit on yourself. It's not very pretty. So, it's not. I'm good. But what is it, this feeling that I'm feeling inside of me concerning the situation? And this is what the Lord gave me this morning. He gave me Elijah. I was going to look up, because is it Ahaz or Ahab? I don't know. Jezebel's husband, he was the king during the time of Elijah. And Elijah and them did not get along at all. And so Elijah had told him, the king, look, there's going to be a drought. And that drought isn't going to cease until I tell it to cease. Simple as that. Now, personally, in my head, I'm thinking, you don't want to kill the guy that only his words are going to bring about rain again. Because rain is highly necessary. Are you okay, sweetheart? She slipped again. A lot of snow, a lot of ice. My fingers are really starting to hurt. I might have to continue this on the inside, because I don't know how long I can stay out here. Like I said, it's 4 degrees in a very protected area. Our thermometer for the indoor thermometer that measures the outside, it's in a very protected area. And because it's in a protected area, come on, sweetie, we're going in. Because it's in a protected area, it's probably colder than it is. And then on top of that, there's a wind. And these gloves really are not made for keeping things warm. They're made for having a good grip on things. I found one of her pills that she doesn't like out on the deck from yesterday. So put that there. And we'll finish this up right here in the kitchen. So, Elijah. Take my glove off. Oh my goodness. They hurt. They really hurt. Elijah told him that there was going to be a drought in the land. And the drought didn't just hit the land. It hit like multiple areas around it as well. So for provision, God told Elijah to go to the brook Cherith. Don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. So when he went to the brook Cherith, there was this brook that gave him water. And ravens would drop bread and meat before Elijah for him to eat. So he had sustenance. So God placed him in this little spot while Ahaz, the king, and Jezebel came. There's a difference, because there's 2 different kings there. And I don't want to say the wrong king and let you think that that's the king when that king was somebody else. It's important to know which king is which. So because in my brain I'm not remembering whether it's a B or a Z, it matters. Again, these are impromptu, not something I've studied. This is just something in my head that I'm remembering the story. You know, when God brought up the story, He didn't bring up the entire story in my head. He gave me a phrase that brought me to the story in my head of Elijah at the Brook Cherith. So he was there for quite a while. It was probably months, maybe even over a year. He was there, and the brook flowed, and the ravens brought him food. But eventually, the brook dried up. It dried up. There was no more water. And now, he's like, well, God was sustaining me here. God was providing for me here. God was protecting me in like a hidden place here. So now I have no water. Now what? And God says, go to Zarephath. Go to Zarephath where there will be a widow and you will stay with her. So now he's going from this place of being by himself for a long time to going to go stay with a widow. The part of the brook drying up, it was there for a season. The provision was there for a season. And now it dries up. He really had no choice but to move on. Guess he could have stayed there and go, I ain't going to Zarephath. Zarephath was not in Israel. It was outside of Israel. And the famine and the droughts also caused famine, extended beyond the borders of Israel. So surrounding areas were also affected. So she had water because he asked her when he got there, could you get me a drink of water? And so she went to fetch him water without any thought to it. People there, and still today, are very generous, hospitality type people. And they will give to you. Mozambique, I've heard this week, Mozambique, that even the poorest of the poor share with their neighbor. So it's a very hospitable, it's not like the U.S. and the Western culture of this is mine, I worked hard for it, and if I have extra, I might give you some. You know, it's a completely different mindset of how you share regardless of your lack. I'm not saying this woman didn't understand lack. She did, because the next question was this. Elijah said, while you're at it, could you bring me a cake of bread? I may have said that wrong. It may have been a cake. May have been bread. Anyways, bring him something to eat. Now, all she had was a little bit of flour and a little bit of oil. Oil, water, and flour make bread. Without the yeast, so it's flatbread. In her head, she's like, as your Lord lives. First of all, she acknowledged God by his name, because the word Lord there was the Lord for Yahweh, which we don't know the correct pronunciation of that. It has been lost through the ages because people became afraid to speak the name in vain, so they didn't want to speak the name at all. So the point is that she spoke the same name that Moses called him, right? And so she acknowledged God and his existence. She acknowledged, she knew who he was. She may have even believed in him. But not as the Jewish people believed in him, because she wasn't Jewish. There were people that believed in God that were not Jewish. They did not have the same customs. They didn't have the same promises, but they believed that he was God, right? So here you have this woman that God had already predestined for Elijah to come stay with, because he told him, there's a woman there, widow, and you're going to stay with her. He asks her for this cake, and she's like, all I have is this. I was going to make it for me and my son and then die because there was nothing else. But because they are very hospitable people, because they are the hostess with the mostest, because they have a different mindset than we do about, oh, but if I give you this, I have nothing. It's, we'll share. We'll share it anyways. We'll do this. We will do this. I'm going to share it with you. And in that mode, it was, we're going to share it with you, as in we're going to give you what we have. Which corresponds with something we're learning in church this week. We're taking a scripture about the Good Samaritan. And we're saying, what pops out to you about this scripture? And one of the things that popped out to me, because there was a couple, but one thing that popped out to me is that he had provision. But it may not have been enough. But he had what was in his hand, and he gave what was in his hand. He had some medical supplies. He had bandages. He had a donkey to throw the guy onto to bring him to the inn. He had a couple of silver coins. He used what he had and gave it. Not out of his lack. Oh my goodness. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough resources to take care of this man. And if I hang out on this road, I could be the next one. He trusted in the Lord. So here's this woman. She may not have trusted in God, but she knew that she was going to take care of the man of God. And so therefore she gave him the cake, the bread. Now, what happened was that oil and that flour didn't run dry. It remained. It kept going and it kept going. And so what happened was, when the drought was over, when the rains came, when the famine had left, Elijah didn't stay there. Elijah did not stay with the widow Zarephath. He moved on. It was for a season. The brook at Cherith was a season. The widow and her son was a season. He learned about God's provision, his safety. And he went on to go against the prophets of Baal. Sometimes things have to end. Sometimes they've worn out their usefulness. Sometimes they get corrupt. Sometimes it's not, and I'm not saying corrupt in a bad way, because good is good, but it's not great. And sometimes good can keep you from great because you settle into that good. Oh, the ravens are feeding me. The brook is here. I'm in a good spot. I have protection. They can't find me. You know, this is awesome. And then it dries up. What? It dries up? Why? Because you needed to save a widow and her son. It went beyond you. It went beyond the borders. You have to go somewhere else now. And then that time had ended. We got through it. We got through it. They got through it. We're moving on. We don't stay there. We don't stay stuck in a comfortable place. we move on. All right. So that is my morning view. So blessings, everybody. Have a great day. And I will see you on Monday. Bye.